The weather forecast is fair and warmer for the Pasadena Rose Bowl today, but the big news is the gridiron earthquake that's about to break loose down on the field before 92,000 fans who have turned out to see America's classic example of football at its finest and best. Coach Biff Jones and his Nebraska Cornhuskers have a T date with Clark Shaughnessy's T formation team wearing the lighter jerseys, and it's T for triumph today as the Indians win 21-13. But how the final score got that way is part of the blood-tingling drama of the most spectacular game in the history of this oldest and greatest of intersectional series. It's all out from the opening whistle onward, and the home team soon realizes it's to be no bed of roses for anyone. Stanford kicks, and Luther, number 27, returns to midfield for the Nebraskans. Chief thorn in the side of the Indians is Francis, who shortly afterward breaks away for 12 yards into first down. The highly keyed boys from the Middle West explode through the Stanford wall, and it looks like an easy walk for the visitors. This time it's around left end as the Husker touchdown march nears journey's end. Now Luther takes it on a reverse, and the Big Six champions are staring opportunity in the face. A Nebraska cyclone in the form of Mike Francis whirls into the end zone, and the Pasadena Chamber of Commerce gets ready for a long, hard winter. Francis' conversion kick is good, and 15,000 Husker fans start to enjoy the climate. It's still first quarter, and Nebraska's ball again, but the Husker thrusts are now being stalled. Nebraska kicks to Kometovic, and true to form, the Indians go on the warpath, whooping down the scoring lanes like a woman driver on the way to a bargain counter. Kometovic, number 11, outstanding star of the game this afternoon, skirts the end and is finally stopped by Hop on the Nebraska 18-yard line. Now Galarno grabs the mail sack, but the stubborn Husker line sends it back to the return address. Frankie Albert's plunge pans out as he digs his cleats into pay dirt plaza like a 49er on the way to riches. This time Galarno buckles down to the business at hand, going over for the touchdown, and the California fans can start talking about the weather once more. Albert, number 13, boots it between the uprights, with the scoreboard now beginning to reflect one of the bitterest battles in bowl annals. Second quarter with Stanford in possession of the ball. Albert does a T-dance number for the guests, then curls his finger around the pigskin and serves it to Kometovic. It's 4th and 1, and Galarno rips the line for 21 yards. A lateral pass, Albert to Galarno, is effective, but Stanford's scoring hopes are darkened by Knight, number 21. Galarno again, and he romps out of bounds on an end run. Halted on the ground, Albert resorts to toe tactics, but the kick from placement goes wild. And here comes a break. Nebraska's punt is mishandled by Albert, with Zygmunt recovering for the Huskers. Unsheathing a brand new weapon, Rohrig hurls one to Zygmunt, who stumbles across the line, and Biff Jones' boys are upsetting the dope again. With a halftime period of rest behind them, and the score now teetering in their favor, the Indians start a sensational goalward jaunt in the third quarter, with Albert and Kometovic blazing the trail. Albert fades for a pass, then carries it to the Nebraska 26. Armstrong pierces the Nebraska line for another 5 yards. Once more, that favorite combination Albert to Kometovic is working, and the latter scurries to the 1 1/2 yard line. It's Stanford's ball, 1st and 1 to go, but the infuriated Nebraska line can't be budged. Albert again, but he's stopped cold in the California sunshine. Another Indian attempt fails to chip the Husker battlements. On the 4th down, the ball is still making no headway, and the Nebraskans assume control. The hard-pressed Huskers punt to Kometovic, who receives on the Nebraska 40, and the curtain is pulled for the day's most exciting play. Running behind the kind of interference that every coach dreams about, Kometovic reverses his field and streaks down the sidelines for a Stanford touchdown that puts the game on ice or under the coconuts or whatever the approved California expression is for such things. Dead-eye Frankie Albert levels his sights on the crossbar, and Stanford is in the clover 21-13. Now behind 8 points, and with the game going into the final stages, Nebraska battles every inch of the way in the gallant tradition that typifies Midwestern football. The play is Francis to Luther to Rohrig, who goes roaring into Crane of Stanford, number 16. 2nd down and 2 to go, and Nebraska's pass is intercepted by Crane, who is rapidly becoming a fixture in the Stanford defense. A short time later, Rohrig's pass is almost intercepted by Frankie Albert. It's 2nd and 5, with the Husker line plunge picking up 5 yards. Again, the boys from Lincoln swim upstream, netting 3 yards. In another crucial play, Rohrig's heave is short-circuited by Galarno of the Indians, who comes to a stop on the Nebraska 43. Now Stanford takes to the air again, but Albert's throw is intercepted by Abel, who brings his team back into the offensive role. A few formations afterward, Rohrig's pass boosts it to the midfield, but another Nebraska aerial thrust fails to connect, and the Indians take over to win 21-13 as Clark Shaughnessy's Wonder Team comes out of last year's mud into this season's high heavens of the gridiron firmament in a thrilling football fireworks display that includes everything but a trip across the English Channel.